I went on vacation for 1 month. I ate whatever I wanted. I went to the gym 3 times during that 1 month, as opposed to 3 times per week, which is what I usually do. And I came home 8 pounds lighter, totally without trying. I'll show you what I did and how you could get as good or even better results than this. Hi, I'm Kirsten, and I've been a personal trainer for over 10 years and a nutrition coach for over 5 years. I love helping highly sensitive women to get stronger, healthier, and more confident. So let's dive into how this happened. How did I lose 8 pounds without really trying? I live in Arizona, but I'm from Estonia, and this past June, I went to visit my home country for 1 month. On longer vacations like this, I usually do workout. I keep up with my usual schedule, which is 3 workouts per week most of the time, except for the first week when I'm still pretty jet lagged and I just want to recover from that. That was the plan this time too, but things actually went quite a bit differently. The first week though, as mentioned, I just focused on getting adjusted to the local time. I didn't track, I didn't weigh, I didn't measure any of my food. I don't do any diets. I didn't diet there, I don't diet at home either. I just ate what people we stayed with, such as my mom, my sister, our friends, what they offered to us, that's what we ate. I always do my best to find higher protein options, but they were not always available. And because I was home, I ate a lot of those sweets and treats that remind me of my childhood and that I can have so rarely. And you're gonna hear me mention those treats a couple of times today. That said, I never binged on them. Those times of extreme deprivation and then going overboard and binging are over for me, and they have been over for about a decade. But that said, I had my fair amount of those sweets and treats because I really loved them. So I definitely had some candy or chocolate or cake every day. Then soon after that first week, where I worked out just once and walked a bit too, we went on a 3-day trip to Croatia. It was insanely hot there. We walked around a lot, even though it was hot. And if you've ever been to Dubrovnik, which is where we were, you know that you just cannot get anywhere without climbing a ton of stairs. It's a really, really cool city though, and I would love to go back. So despite the heat, we walked quite a bit, and several days we got close to 20,000 steps a day. At home, I'm usually right around 15,000 steps per day, so my steps are a little bit higher than my normal. But I didn't do a single gym workout because when I only have 3 days in a new city, I want to make the most of it and explore it as much as I can instead of lifting weights. I had, of course, bought some of my favorite Estonian candy to snack on. We also had ice cream several times. We made pasta for dinners in our Airbnb. We found a couple of really nice bakeries, and I feel like Croatians really love their bread, and it was delicious. So we had some pastries, we had some bread, and we ate a ton of watermelon, which was so ripe and so sweet. I even had a glass of beer there, which is something that I almost never do. I think the last time I had beer was maybe 3 years ago. So here we are, 2 weeks and 1 strength training workout. More sugar than usual, but also quite a bit of walking and really having a great time. Once we were back in Estonia from our trip, we took it easy for a couple of days, and this is when I did my second lifting workout. And then we headed to an island called Saaremaa, which is the biggest island in Estonia. It's absolutely gorgeous and you must visit. On the way there though, I started to feel that my throat is getting kind of sore, and I suspected that I might be getting sick. And sadly, this was the case. The next day, it was so obvious that yes, I'm really getting sick. However, I didn't want to miss out on the things that I wanted to do, so I took some cold medicine and I did the things that I wanted to do anyway. Again, we did walk in Saaremaa, but it wasn't excessive. And we also ate out every single meal. There was always some chocolate, of course, some candy, and we rode our bikes a little bit, but it wasn't anything crazy. So it was just nice, active, moving around, but again, no workouts, no tracking, no weighing or nothing like that. And then we headed to a song festival where it rained a lot. And this is where I got really sick. Before, I just had a little sore throat. My voice was pretty bad. I almost lost my voice. But after this rain at the song festival, I got really sick. I never lost my appetite, luckily, and that hardly ever happens. But there is no way that I could have worked out or even walked a ton when I got sick. That lasted for several days. Again, I ate what felt good. No tracking, no measuring, no obsession about workouts. Instead, I just wanted to get well as soon as possible. One thing that was truly amazing and such a big blessing is that I slept so well the whole time when I was there. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but I never sleep this way so deeply when I'm here in the States. In Estonia, I had very few nights when I was restless, and all the other nights I slept between 7 to 9.5 hours. And when we were in Croatia, there was one night when I even slept 11 hours. Our last week of the vacation was mainly spent at my mom's place, and we ate so much good food. When I say good food, I don't mean massive portions of greasy stuff that many people would call good. Instead, we ate a lot of things such as smoked ham and smoked cheese and smoked fish. Estonians love their smoked food. We also had homemade bread, lots of delicious potatoes, homemade desserts, and even a little bit of alcohol, maybe twice. And strawberries. Oh my god. The strawberries in summertime in Estonia are the best strawberries you've ever had. We also picked some blueberries from the forest, and I also ate plenty of dairy, which is better than anywhere else that I know. So we had a lot of that as well. 2 days before it was time to head back, I finally felt recovered enough to go lift weights again. So this was my third workout in 1 month. And then it was time to fly back home. When I got back and stepped on the scale, I realized that I had lost 8 pounds. I was surprised, but then I realized that this has happened before too. Exactly the same thing happened last time when I had a similar vacation. Last time I lost 5 pounds in 3 weeks, this time 8 pounds in 4 weeks. And all that without really trying. So what was going on? I definitely ate more sugar than usual. I lifted weights only 3 times that month. How was I able to lose weight then? Here is the answer. My stress was low and my nervous system was incredibly happy. I felt so balanced and at ease. Here's an interesting thing as well. I was even able to have regular coffee without any problem at all, while usually at home I have to avoid it because it can make me anxious and jittery. What reduced my stress so much then? Here I have 8 things that I want to point out. Number 1, being in nature. I felt at ease immediately when I was surrounded by so much green. This is just incredible. Like the lush green colors in the forest are just so amazing. I spent a good amount of time in the forest. I was walking on trails where I had run when I was younger, all surrounded by lots of green trees, and there were birds singing. It was just so soothing for my nervous system. And I love lakes too. I know that for many people it's the ocean that is so calming and soothing for them. But for me, it's the lakes because I grew up surrounded by tons of lakes and we would go out swimming all the time. That's why the forest scene and the lakes, these are the things that really help my nervous system to feel peaceful. The second reason is that I got to hang out with my friends and family. And to me, it's amazing. I know that some people cannot do this. They don't get along with their family members, and that is then a different story. But for me, it was amazing because I don't usually have that opportunity. We live so far apart. So now to be able to hang out with my family and my best friends, it really made me truly happy. I got to hang out with my mom, my sister, my niece, my nephew, my aunt, my cousins, my best friends. It was just so good for me. I love animals and my mom has 4 cats. Yes, 4 cats. They're kind of crazy, but they're also really cute. Number 3, we explored different places, such as Croatia. The Adriatic Sea was wonderful and something I would love to see again. Even my husband, who's born and raised in Hawaii, says that the water was just as beautiful in Croatia as it is in Hawaii. So that really says something. But also traveling inside Estonia was really nice and really relaxing. There's something about being back home, all these memories, all these surroundings that are so familiar and so soothing, and that's why I felt so much better too. And if you're thinking about going to Estonia, should I go, should I not? Absolutely, you must go there. The fourth reason why my stress was down is that I didn't worry about food. It was so much better in quality. And I feel like I try to eat healthy, and I eat healthy most of the time at home too, but it's just so much harder to avoid all the chemicals, all the additives. But there's just so much less of that stuff. You don't have to buy organic this and that. Things already are organic. So I felt so much better. Of course, not everything is super clean and super organic, but overall, the quality of food is just a million times better. And I really feel like that really helped my body as well. The reason number 5 is that I did walk a lot, probably a little bit more than I do in my everyday life. So if you're thinking, okay, this is why I lost weight, then there might be some truth to it. That said, I ate a lot more sugar too, and I even had a couple of drinks, which most likely made my calories still pretty high. Number 6, when it comes to food portions, here's an interesting thing. Because I felt so much more regulated and calm, I was able to really feel so well when I'm full and when I need to stop eating. After this experience that I had, I am realizing that in my everyday life, I probably sometimes eat more than I really need because I'm more stressed. And when I'm more stressed, I cannot hear my intuition that well. So again, because my stress was low, my nervous system was more regulated, I was able to sense my hunger and fullness better. Reason number 7 is that I slept so much more, which I think is one of the biggest keys to losing weight. And I slept more because my nervous system, surprise, surprise, was more regulated. And finally, less social media. Very little social media, in fact. I posted some vacation pictures, but I didn't pressure myself to do live videos or stories all the time. As a result, I was on my phone a lot less, and I've kept that habit up also now, 2 weeks after returning. I may post something, but most of the day my phone is actually turned off, and I check my messages 1 to 2 times per day instead of basically living on social media. Other than 1 week completely off from work, I did work when I was traveling. So 3 of those 4 weeks I did work. I talked to my clients and I checked their check-in forms, I responded to their messages, etc. But I didn't create new content or spend unnecessary time on screens. So I was able to still work, and because my overall state was just so much calmer, it didn't feel like work really. It was just like something that I do, and it wasn't bad at all. I felt really good when I was working. So here's the big reason why I lost weight. I was significantly less stressed and my nervous system loved it. When that happens, extra weight can go down too. Your inflammation goes down. And that's one more reason to get more intentional about regulating your nervous system when you're home, because most of us cannot be on vacation all the time. I know it would be nice, but that's just not reality for most of us. If you're liking this video so far, please subscribe so that you can get more videos like this. But there is something else that I want to say. The stress reduction is not the only reason why I lost this weight without really trying. Here's what else you need to know. I have, over the years, put in the work and been very consistent with training and healthy nutrition most of the time. And I want to emphasize, I have been this way for years. I have lifted weights for 7 years, seriously, and before that I was still active. I did a little bit of strength training, but not that serious. But heavy lifting, I've done this for 7 years, 3 times per week, most weeks. I have tracked my macros. I did it very regularly for a couple of years to learn what healthy eating looks like and what works best for my body. This is how I have built this foundation so that now when I was on vacation for 1 month, I was able to easily get away with almost no training other than walking. I still made fairly good decisions with my nutrition when I was able to, but I didn't obsess if the meal that was placed in front of me was, for example, pasta with creamy sauce, or if the homemade smoked cheese was full of delicious fat, or if I put a large tablespoon of honey in my tea 5 times a day when I was sick. I didn't worry about any of that. So I got to have all this because I have put in the work and I have built the foundation. And people who have not done any of this type of work, who have not built that foundation, they probably cannot have the same result. Because as we know, most people actually gain weight on their vacations. If you want to learn how you can get started with regular exercise and healthier nutrition so that you too can have this kind of freedom that I described, I have helped hundreds of women to do it. So you can start by clicking the link in the description below to get my free guide that is teaching you the first 3 steps to changing your diet and fitness to start losing fat. This guide includes a PDF and workout videos so that you can see exactly what you need to do. It is a pretty detailed guide, and if you follow this exactly, I know you're going to get results. But if you want to get right into it, then you can also work with me personally. Click the application link in the description. Finally, I'd like to mention that while it was interesting to see the weight go down, it truly was mostly just interesting to me. I know that my weight isn't the most important thing about me or my health. I also already know, and I'm totally fine with it, that when I start lifting regularly again, which I have already started, some of the weight will come back, and that's absolutely normal. That's because muscle weighs something, and I have zero problem with gaining some of it back. It's better to have muscle and weigh more than lose muscle and weigh less. And that's something that I constantly have to tell my clients as well, because we are still so worried about the scale all the time without realizing that muscle weighs something too. And when you lose weight, you want to make sure that you don't lose it from muscle. Another thing that I am fully aware of is the fact that I need to work on my stress reduction in my everyday life as well. And not so that I can keep the weight off no matter what, but because how much better I truly felt. And I know that there are several things that I can do myself too to reduce my stress in my day-to-day life. If you liked today's video, then you will also like the next one, so make sure to check it out.